يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our next letter in our letter a day journey, the letter Ra. So this letter is also using your tip of your tongue, and it's also hitting it very close to the previous letter, the Nun. So it's a little bit higher. And just to visualize it, we have the Lam. So Lam is very close to the top two front teeth, the top central incisors. And then a little bit behind that is the Nun. And then a little bit behind that is the Ra. So you can kind of visualize it better from that model, I guess. So wherever you're saying na, just go a little bit behind that Ra. And it's not exactly the English sound, but it's very close to, like, if I was to say like rolling, rolling. So that might help you if you're having trouble saying the letter, to use that thing. I'll go through the common mistakes first, just so that it's a little bit clearer. But the first one is that one might go a little bit too behind. So you don't want to go like ar-Rahman, like in English, like a pirate. It's not that sound. I don't know if you heard Chef Ramsay's, like, it's raw. That's still a little bit too behind, but the general idea is there. It's very close to rolling. Another common mistake is that there isn't contact. So you want to make sure that the tongue is actually touching the top of your mouth, the hard palate, the roof of your mouth. You don't want to see, there should be space. So the space will sound like ar. You shouldn't be able to do that, like ar-Rahman. You shouldn't be able to kind of keep that letter going. It should be contact. So it will sound like the sound will kind of close. Another common mistake is the rolling of it. By that I mean ar, it's kind of like vibrating on it. This is a problem that I had personally, and a lot of people, especially if they speak French and stuff, they'll have. And to be honest, the thing that fixed it for me was I was putting less pressure using my jaw, and just trying to focus using my tongue. So your tongue, again, touching that makhraj, that articulation point that we discussed earlier, and inshallah that might help. So we'll go through the exercise now. Ra, ri, ru, ar. Ra, ri, ru, ar. So there is probably a bunch of questions in your mind right now. One, it is a heavy letter in some situations, and it's light. By light I mean not heavy, in some situations as well. So when I say heavy, again, just using English terminology to make it easier for the average viewer. But remember we talked about the letter Lod. Law. I was kind of saying that's a super heavy letter. So this, not just the back of the tongue, but the middle of your tongue popping up. Ra is not one of those letters. So it's not like Rahman. You're still just pushing the back of your tongue up. The middle of your tongue should still be like pretty down, and then it's kind of like like your tongue is gonna be like this kind of thing. So that's with, if in general, if it has a fatha and a dhamma, in general it's a general rule, then you'll probably want to make it heavy, and if it has a kasra, you'll make it light. Now with the sukoon in it, so I'm just gonna say with the fatha before it, ar. There's a lot of different rules with it, a lot. So I think it would be better, I can't give some general like guideline for it in a later episode, inshallah, maybe we'll cover it. Or if you get a Tajweed teacher, they can sit down and specifically they can show you those different rules. But just to remember, you're gonna hear it heavy, sometimes light. It's not the person saying it wrong or anything like that. And it's just important to recognize that there is a lot of different rules associated with it. Generally, with the fatha, dhamma, you can make it heavy, and then with the kasra, it'll be light. With the sukoon, just to make it even maybe easier for you, if there's a fatha before it or dhamma before it, then generally, not every single time, it's going to be heavy. And if before it's a kasra, then usually be light. There may be some changes here and there, so don't think of it too much as a hard rule, but if it sounds right to you, it might be good. And at this point in time, again, we're just going to be focusing on the makhraj. So the articulation point, you want to make sure that your tongue is in the right spot and it's doing the right thing. In terms of those individual characteristics, inshallah, in a later video we'll cover. So just some exercises to go through it. Sorry, this is gonna be a long video, but with the fatha, rafa'a, rafa'a. With dhamma, you have ruh, ruh. And then with a kasra, rijal, rijal. So you notice like my mouth is smiling a little bit. It shouldn't be like this, but it's gonna be like the ra, and then ri, ri. So like rijal. And with a sukun on it, we're just gonna put a shad on it because like it may make it clear in terms of the rolling. But ar-Rahman, ar-Rahman. So you'll notice even for myself, I'm still kind of rolling it a little bit, and you'll hear a lot of reciters rolling it by accident. It's not something you should be doing, but it's something that for some reason, some people have, including myself, have an issue with it. So it's not exactly right. There shouldn't be any vibrations, but I hope that helps. And inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
فكيف كان عذابي ونذر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر